Gamers, I'll be blunt. If you're still playing on a regular TV, you're not seeing what your console or PC can really do. Graphics, input lag, HDR, refresh rate, they all matter. So I tested some of the best gaming TVs of 2025, side by side with PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC gaming rigs. Here's the breakdown of which ones will actually level up your setup. If you own a PS5, the Sony A95L QD-OLED is basically the TV designed for it. Sony packs in exclusive gaming features like auto HDR tone mapping and auto genre picture mode. So when I booted my PS5, it instantly optimized settings for gaming without me touching a thing. I tested Horizon Forbidden West and Final Fantasy XVI on this, and the Quantum Dot OLED panel blew me away. It combines OLED's perfect blacks with QD's boosted brightness and color volume. Grass looked lush, skies popped, and HDR effects had an intensity you don't get on traditional OLED. The input lag was impressively low, around 10 milliseconds at 120 Hz, and with VRR support, motion was buttery. Dolby Vision HDR for gaming also worked beautifully on Xbox. Sound is also worth mentioning. Sony uses Acoustic Surface Audio Plus, so the screen itself produces sound. Explosions in Call of Duty felt like they came right from the action, not from a tiny speaker below the TV. Best for PlayStation 5 owners or gamers who want QD-OLED's color and brightness upgrade. If you want uncompromising picture quality, the LG 4 OLED Evo is the king of darkroom gaming. OLED panels don't have backlights, every pixel lights itself, which means true blacks and infinite contrast. I tested this with Cyberpunk 2077 at night scenes, and the neon lighting popped like I've never seen before. No blooming around bright signs, no washed out shadows, just crisp HDR perfection. And with HDR10, Dolby Vision, and HLG support, it handled every format I threw at it. Gamers will love the 0.1 millisecond response time and 120 Hz refresh rate across all 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. I plugged in a PS5, Xbox, and PC without worrying about swapping cables. Spider-Man 2 ran buttery smooth at 120 frames per second, and on PC I pushed a shooter at 120 Hz VRR with zero tearing. The only downside, OLED isn't the brightest in sunny rooms, but in controlled lighting, nothing beats it. Best for hardcore gamers who want cinematic OLED perfection and lightning-fast response. Not everyone games in a dark room. If your setup is in a bright living room, OLED sometimes struggles. And that's where the Samsung QN90D Neo QLED dominates. This TV uses mini LED backlighting, which means thousands of tiny LEDs instead of a single backlight. The result? Blinding brightness and incredible HDR. I tested Call of Duty in the middle of the day, sunlight hitting the screen, and it still looked crystal clear. OLEDs can't pull that off. Gaming performance is equally strong. The QN90D supports 144 Hz refresh rates, VRR, and FreeSync Premium Pro. Playing Diablo 4 on PC at 144 Hz was smooth, fluid, and sharp, with no ghosting. One of the coolest extras was Samsung's object tracking Sound Plus. While testing Elden Ring, I swear I heard footsteps moving across the screen. It felt like surround sound baked into the TV. The Game Bar 3.0 is also handy, letting you check FPS, latency, or change aspect ratio mid-game. Best for gamers in bright rooms who want insane brightness, sharp HDR, and worry-free performance. The LG C4 OLED sits right below the flagship G4, and honestly, it's the better buy for most gamers. It's got perfect blacks, fast response time, 120 Hz refresh, and full HDMI 2.1 support, just like the G4. I played Diablo 4 in Dolby Vision, and the atmosphere of dungeons looked incredible. Dark areas were pitch black, while spells and particle effects glowed beautifully without clipping. Input lag is basically instant, and with VRR plus ALLM, you'll never deal with tearing or screen stutter. The C4 doesn't get quite as bright as the Samsung QN90D in a sunlit room, but for cinematic gaming at night, it's one of the best balanced TVs out there. And it's cheaper than the G4 while delivering 95% of the performance. Best for gamers who want OLED magic at a more reasonable price. And now for the surprise hit, the Hisense U7N Mini LED. This thing costs a fraction of the others, but still brings gaming grade performance. It supports 144 Hz Game Mode Pro, VRR, Dolby Vision IQ, and even Dolby Atmos audio. I tested it with Rocket League, and the low input lag made every dodge feel snappy. The full array local dimming gave me deep blacks, not quite OLED, but way better than cheap edge-lit TVs, Watching Forza Horizon 5 on Xbox Series X, the colors popped, motion was smooth, and HDR highlights like sunsets were shockingly good for this price bracket. Sure, the build feels a little cheaper, and it won't match G or Sony in picture accuracy, but at this price, it's a steal. Best for budget-conscious gamers who want 144 Hz and HDR without spending thousands. So those are the best gaming TVs of 2025. If you want unbeatable contrast and cinematic immersion, the LG4 or C4 are no-brainers. PS5 players? Grab the Sony A95L. Got a bright living room? Samsung's QN90D is the clear winner. And if you're chasing value, the Hisense U7N is hands down the budget champ. I've linked the best deals in the description below. Which one are you gaming on this year? OLED perfection, QLED brightness, or budget-friendly mini LED? Drop your pick in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more real-world gaming gear reviews.